the first few slides are kind of an overview and background of virtual 3D and kind of the history of it. So if anybody jumps on halfway through even, hopefully they'll be able to really, pick up more of the meat of what I offer, how I might be different. But I've been using the Matterport system for, 6 months now. And I appreciate Isaac putting me in touch with your company and Brandon. Isaac and I have partnered together on a few projects now. He does amazing photography. If you haven't tried him, and I've done some photography, I know how hard it is, and I feel like my sweet spot is using this Matterport camera. Obviously we're all in a new age now, and there's a lot of room for growth. There's a lot of room currently for just exploiting this technology, and that'll be my goal in this presentation, is presenting Matterport, what it can do, some of these tools at the bottom of the Matterport screen that maybe people just overlook, and then how to really use it to your most benefit as far as social media, not only the Matterport tour, but some of the other video and pictures that I provide, which will be packaged nicely, and I'll show you how that comes across with every project we do, and just make it as seamless and simple for you as an agent to get that across. Because obviously you're not just trying to sell the house, you're trying to sell yourself and get future listings. So we'll make that as easy as possible. So without further ado, just talking about virtual tours, where they've come from and how they're being more adopted. You're probably all familiar with the MLSs, now incorporating them into your listing. CRMLS is, probably the biggest one out there. And there's 3 different spaces within. We were just talking about, prior to getting on the call, where to place the tour, and it's under Virtual Tour 1. There's also a Virtual Tour 2, and then there's a spot for 3D. So we can run through later, like where to place those. But Zillow now has the ability to pick them up, Redfin as well. So by getting one of these tours in the right spot on the MLS, it should be really getting out there to the public more than it ever has been. Zillow in the past has forced everybody, agents and photographers, to use a special camera, which is the Ricoh Theta. They're now, allowing Matterports on there as well. So this is the link right here. And if we ever do send out this slide deck, that's where it'll take you to. But that basically routes you to the CRMLS and virtual house options, and kind of the instructions on where to place it in Paragon. So I won't go through that in too much detail, but just know that it's there for you. You can always email me and I'll send you the link as well. So benefits are pretty self-explanatory. I think we're all on the same page with why we use them. And, every individual has a different take. If they feel like doing open houses or showing buyers in person is much more valuable, obviously there's still a great spot for that. But having a 3D tour is going to give everybody easier access. Lots of agents are putting in the description for other agents to make sure that their buyers are going through the 3D tour first, so people don't waste their time. A lot of times you show buyers, they come in and the first thing they say is, this layout won't work. It might look like the pictures, but they didn't envision, say a master bedroom being upstairs and all the other bedrooms being downstairs when they have a new baby on the way or something like that. So, aside from that, 3D tours are multi-sensory. You're not just looking at a picture, but you're really feeling, the essence of that house and walking through it as close to reality as you can get. So it's safer, right? You're not having strangers walk through your house constantly. The sellers are also not being forced to clean up their house for every looky-loo and person who might not be interested or is just sort of exploring the idea of buying, nothing imminent. I just feel like it's a better time savings for everybody all around. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this technology really sticks beyond, the kind of the current situation we're in. So down the road, it could be the homeowners and the sellers that are demanding these things. And we will see. But for the current time, there's obviously some explosive growth. And it's been neat to watch. You're casting a wider net as well, so it'll be easier for folks who are looking for a home that don't live in town, live abroad, whatever your typical situations, I guess, where somebody wants to visit a house but can't do so. So, and then additionally, people who want a second viewing, or those people who are really interested, they get home that night and they can't remember certain things, or they just are so excited. I think it helps foster that excitement and, continues the ball rolling until they make an offer. Let's see. So virtual tours, there's, in the past been some confusion. We all have seen on the MLS, people post virtual tours. You go to the link, and what it really is just a slideshow of, the 20 pictures that are also available under photography. So that's not really a virtual tour. And I'm not sure who's getting any value out of that. But some agents may like it. I know some of the bigger photography companies just incorporate that, and they always have. Videos obviously can be really amazing. And they're tough to produce. So a lot of work goes into those. There's definitely a place for them, but they're not, again, a true virtual tour. So aside from Matterport, which I'll speak mostly about because that's what I use, there are a few different platforms out there. There's iGuide, there's the Ricoh Theta, which again, Zillow uses. Those are really small cameras. They do mount onto a tripod and they just take a 360 photo. The other, including iGuide, most of these technologies are going to be very similar to each other, different from Matterport in that you would, if you were going through a 3D tour, you would walk into a house, click on the first dot, you see what's around, you can look around, and then to go to the next dot, you basically pull up a new screen. It doesn't walk you through like Matterport does, where Matterport's truly mapping out everything around you and allowing you to get that sensation of walking everywhere on top of being able to look around. So that's the biggest difference. That's what set them apart, and really why they're quickly becoming the leader in this technology. They're not that old, just about 10 years, and they've gone through 9 rounds of funding. They're not public yet, but they're quickly gaining steam. And their camera technology is really the best out there. I have my camera right behind me. So that's the Pro 2. That's kind of the gold standard. Multiple lenses, great color accuracy. So the way the Matterport works, it connects to my iPad. I step out of the room. Everybody obviously is out of the room. And this thing just is going to do a 360 on its own. It's got a little motor below it. Takes about 30 seconds for it to do that. And it via Bluetooth connects to my iPad, and we go on to the next spot. Depending on the size of the room, each room could take anywhere from like 3 to 20 of these shots, depending on how much furniture. But essentially what I need to do when I'm doing each house is really get behind every piece of furniture, like on the sides of the furniture, and just make sure that when it does finally come out the next day, that it looks as seamless as possible. So it's not just real estate using Matterport or 3D. There's architecture companies, big corporations are using it for training if they build a new warehouse or have international employees. There's lots of different, everybody has their own unique niches, but and hospitality as well. Certainly now, people getting married want to see the venue, and this is a great way of doing that. So let's see, the platform provides a web-hosted virtual tour. Okay, so Matterport, what it's really providing and what I submit to you is a website, essentially. few different links. One is branded, one is unbranded, but it is a live link that is live only for as long as we keep it up. I'm paying to rent the house basically to be live, so we'll keep it up for 6 months or until it closes, and we can always extend it, and we can just talk privately if that situation ever arises. But that, that is the difference, I guess, between what people expect and what is actually occurring, is that it's not something you download, so you've got to have internet access. It looks identical across all the different platforms. So if you're checking this home tour out on your phone or your tablet or the computer, it's always going to look the same. It's really easy for you to use, easy for clients to use, simple to be sent via text or email. It's not necessarily private, so anybody out there would really have access to it and be able to send it, between one another. So I don't own it, you don't own it. Matterport retains the rights, but it's never really been a problem. It kind of works well, the system they have set up. So I'm a Matterport service provider. I connect with them weekly, with additional users, and we exchange information. There's Facebook groups. They do a really good job, but they are absolutely swamped right now with this surge of interest. So getting through to customer service isn't instant right now. It's not easy, but thank God I really don't need to work with them much. They do a great job at getting the tour back to me in a reasonable amount of time, whether that's same day or next day. I haven't had any issues, but when people ask when you'll be getting the tour back, it's as soon as we can, and generally, the next day or two, but I'm also incorporating a video with it and things like that. So if there's a big rush, obviously just let me know. Okay, here's a quick video on Matterport and what.
So jazzed up that
Sorry,
often
I'll
I don't even
restart
have to
it.
go any further.
We have not lost a listing presentation since we started using Matterport.
Previously, whenever we would talk about a 3D virtual tour, because I would use the terms, everybody was like, oh yeah, we've seen that, the homeowners would, and what they really saw was a fancy slideshow. So whenever I show them what it really is, then conversation's over.
I go through three things: presentation, marketing, and pricing. I can see somebody's eyes when I show them the Matterport, and I can see that they're so jazzed up that often I don't even have to go any further.
We really start to see people jumping at us to come out and do a listing presentation for them based on what they're seeing, and a big part of that's Matterport. So when I'm sitting there for a listing presentation, I'm talking about it on my iPad, and I say, well, let me just pull one up for you. In fact, this was one we did a scan on in San Antonio today or yesterday, whatever it may be, and I give them my phone and let them play around with it. The conversation just goes a different direction from there. And at that moment, I know it's my listing to lose.
I have a value proposition that's different. I'm going to use the best technology in the marketplace to present your home. People want to hear that. They want to hear what you're doing differently.
Okay. All right, so just some quick background on what tours can do, what Matterport can do based on studies that they've done. Obviously, there's a little bias on the next few statistics, but they've come to the conclusion that 99% of homeowners agree that offering a 3D tour would give their home a competitive advantage, and 82% of homeowners might switch to an agent that does offer these. Some of the results that they did get from this study, which is you can check out with this link at the bottom. It was conducted in 2019. Properties will sell about 30% faster for about 4 to 9% higher. And again, these are properties that have a readily available tour to be seen. 20% of offers are made without a home visit, and 30% reduction in days on market. So all upside. Whether or not those numbers are truly accurate, I can only see upside in having a 3D Matterport tour. So Walkabout is my company, just so we're clear on how it works. Matterport doesn't employ photographers out in the field. They're called Matterport service providers or partners. So that's what I am. I only use the Matterport camera. It's available, Walkabout is available for any size condo or home, benefits to anything really, and pricing is determined by the size and square footage of the place. So, you know, it can be fairly inexpensive if you do have a smaller house. I've done even rentals, and the feedback I get is that, you know, these places tend to go pretty quick when someone can even walk through something they're considering renting. Time would vary anywhere from 1 to 4 hours. 1 is about the minimum. And you can book directly through me, and I'll make sure that you all have my contact information. Let's see. So currently I'm trying to really kind of over deliver on everything, and give you as much material that you can use besides just the tour. So sort of like offshoots of the tour, whether it's video, photography pulled out of it, anything that you can start using for social media, which I know it can tend to bog us all down. But this is really meant so that you have a steady stream. If that house is on the market for 2 or 3 months, to just keep that funnel full. And there's additional ways of doing that. So always feel free to reach out, and we can kind of rebrand the tour or set a different start point. Maybe not the front door of the living room, but whatever we can do to keep it fresh. So I am, when you order one of these, I will supply to you a branded link, an unbranded link, which is the one that needs to go on the MLS, as you probably know. Also an embed code. So if you do have an active website, this code would be really easy to install on your website or the company's. Again, these will just be live while that tour is active. I wish that it was, for life, but Matterport's business model isn't structured that way. But the videos that we create are permanent. I mean, they're downloadable. You can use them forever for future listing presentations, whatever you need. So that being said, I will submit a music video, which we'll review one of those. They're all going to be stored on my website as well. So if you ever want to go to walkabouthomes.com, one of the sections will say Walkabout Tours. That's the Matterport tour. If you just kind of want to explore and play with. Another section is the videos. So I'll handpick the music, which is not copyrighted. You can play it anywhere. There's no vocal. But that, of course, that would be one area that you can place on Instagram super easy. Video can also be placed on the MLS. So the virtual tour 1 spot would be good for the 3D tour, and 2 would be good for the video. Or if you get a professional video made, obviously that could go there. Also, we'll review matter tags, but they're basically call out buttons. So I'll provide 10 of those, and we'll go over in the next couple slides what those are. Again, there's additional videos, so shorter ones, a GIF, if you're familiar with what those are, it's essentially like a moving picture. Always, if you have a marketing director or somebody that you work with closely, these would all be things that you could explore on how to get them out there to the public as best as possible. 360 photos are going to be supplied to you as well. Those will be easy to upload to Facebook. If you just want to say, hey, check out this backyard, rather than posting the entire tour, which you probably have already done. If you want to say, check out this backyard, that would be a 360 photo that would be similar to an iPhone panoramic, where the user is holding the phone, checking out the picture and moving it. So it's a little more interactive. Okay, and then HD photos as well, which would never totally replace professional photos, but in addition to. Okay, so what you can do to prepare the home, obviously very similar to what you would do for photography. Clean it, make sure it's clean, the lights are on, personal items put away. You don't want anybody really going through the tour and seeing where valuables might be, jewelry, etc. The doors that you'd like open on the tour, we can obviously work on that when I arrive, but you want those to be open so that we're not doing the tour. And then at the very last second, we realize you want that door open so that they can go into the next room. And then on the last shot, we open it up, and it just, as seamless as we can make it look from beginning to end, the better, the better it will come out. So minimal people present. The less people, the better. It does take a 360 photo every time you use it. So, if there's people outside where you think the owners or the agent or somebody else is out of shot, they are out there. It may be distracting, but that's your call. People are going to be focused on the tour, so it's not the end of the world if something gets caught in camera view. Pets are always an item that we want to address. Ceiling fans off. And then we just need to talk about if you want the garage included, if that's going to be part of the square footage, the guest house as well. And I'll get into that when we talk about the exterior. But we can always supplement with 360 photos if you just want one shot of, say, the garage where they can go out there or the backyard and just do a quick 360 view, but you don't have multiple Matterport dots on the ground that really incorporate that into the proper tour. Okay, so people do ask about the backyards. The camera's really sensitive to light. So midday is generally the best for doing interior where you don't have all that light coming in from the, perhaps sunset or it's strong east or west exposure. And that being said, when you're outside, if you do want to incorporate it, like this house here shown on the right, we do need it to be shady. So if that's the end of the day or beginning, that's what would be required. You can see those black shadows in the middle of the yard. That's actually a massive tree, probably a couple of them where I couldn't get the camera. It didn't pick it up as kind of the ground level. But when you're walking through, that won't appear black. That'll appear as part of the tour, and I'll show you real quick. And it would basically be $100 more if you want to do the outside. So this is that same house in Point Loma in the La Playa area. Beautiful house. And this is one where I did incorporate the patios as well. And because the sun was all the way at a steep angle, we didn't really have any issues of capturing it. And obviously it's the view that's selling this house. So the more time somebody can spend outside, the better. And let's walk downstairs just so you can see a shortcut on how to get downstairs really quick without actually moving yourself down the staircase. Just go to floor selector here on the left and choose whichever floor you want to go. Then it takes you down there and you can click any point. Now here's that yard. Obviously it's going to be much more interactive than if I went out and took one 360 photo, which would look the same as this, but it just wouldn't provide the ability to walk around. And in this scenario, that was kind of critical. So we did bring it into the spotlight here. All right. So while we're on this, I'll just go ahead and walk you through the screen and user interface of the Matterport. Over here on the left, well, the down arrow is going to remove all of these pictures, which I do set in order so that there's a flow. The reason for that is this play button is going to give anybody the ability, and you want to remind your buyers or seller of this ability because most people don't use it, but it's going to be like an auto play and move you through basically a video. Without the music, without all the extras. But this first view, this is the dollhouse view, using your mouse or finger if you're using a phone or tablet. You can just scroll around. It's really neat. It gives people a true idea of the size and features, and it's really kind of fun to play around with. Anywhere you see these little bubbles, that is a 360 photo. In this case, I put one here because that's the front door, and I wanted one of the kind of the entryway. Okay, so there's just the main level highlighted, and then this is the floor plan view. So if you clicked on floor selector, that would essentially show you how we've already explored, but the different floors. And then to the left of that is view dollhouse, which was that first slide. And then measurement mode, which actually allows you to measure the areas. So if you were truly an interested buyer and you wanted to see if you had room for some of your furniture, you go to this, and you can do it in the actual tour as well. I'll show you in a second. But here we're just measuring on the floor plan. You're going to click that, what was a plus sign, and click. You can see that's in US metrics or feet, so 9'8". If you're seeing anything different, it's in meters, and I just need to change a setting, so just let me know. And there we have 21.5 feet. It's going to keep going, so if you want to stop, just hit the check. Let's try, for instance, maybe measuring the kitchen width. Let's see. So we're going to hit the plus button and go from the fridge to that wall, or even how the width of this kind of galley hallway right here, 3.5 feet, or 12 feet to the wall. All right. So it's obviously not rocket science. It's a pretty straightforward interface. It's just very small icons here in the corner that people tend to forget about. So I'm gonna get out of measurement. We're gonna go through some of the other features on a different slide. What you can do and how to share it will be the most important. How you can text it and email it and post it to Facebook and those types of things. Okay, so that's kind of the exterior. Screen navigation we just went through. So here on the right, this isn't a live view, but that little L-shaped icon is the share button. If you click that, it'll pull up, and this is on your phone. Whether you're looking on your computer, it's going to be the same. It's going to allow you to text it, email it, and post it on several different websites. These little glasses here are going to allow it to be viewed through 3D glasses. If you have access to those, could certainly have a wow factor. It's compatible with the Oculus, the Google Cardboard, and then all the other ones that are out there. I feel like that's probably the next step with where I want to take it is, having, I don't know whether it'd be an office or some type of place where agents can bring their clients, sit down and place one of these set of goggles on and really immerse themselves so they can get the best idea of what this house feels like. And this thing on the far right is going to blow it up to full-size screen. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts at this point? We'll continue. Yeah, just let me know, jump in if you have any questions at all. So this is the dollhouse. Obviously, these are the differences in size of a house. Like I said, I've done small rentals downtown San Diego and big ranch, 7,500 square foot places in Rancho Santa Fe. So, it's not necessarily a technology reserved for, the most luxury houses only anymore. Floor plan view, we've already gone over that. And the matter tags I touched on, this is what they look like. And they're call out buttons that allow the user to kind of get a better idea of what they're looking at. So they can be as simple as stating the room that they're walking through, or what might be around the corner. If you think, in this case, let's see, well, this call out button on the far left in the bottom picture was just another bedroom. So there's a good chance somebody might miss that. The one that's pulled out is how they'll appear. So text would be the most common if you just wanted to text in, I would do that for you. You just got to let me know specifically what you want it to say, or I'll, fill in to my, the best of my knowledge what it is. In this case, it's a climate controlled wine room. You can walk in there, and by putting that call out button, the Matter tag in place, it's going to really invite you in as a user and make sure that it's something you don't miss. You can also do video if we want to take the extra time and have you spotlighted as kind of showcasing what that particular area is. We can talk about what that would take time-wise, and obviously we could shoot it on an iPhone if we're really not being too selective on the video quality. You can also do links. So if you have higher end appliances in the kitchen, you could put a link to that specific model that shows the user, what's behind that fridge or dishwasher or whatever it is that you want to showcase. Let's see. Okay, so this is the walkabout video I was mentioning earlier. These generally last anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes based on the size of the house. The music is not copyrighted. It's something I pay for, but you won't get flagged on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube because the music is able to be submitted. Here we go. Okay. Okay, a little self-promo there. All right, so this is how it's going to be delivered. Just so, if you don't feel like you're technologically savvy or kind of hesitant because of what might be entailed, you feel like you're not using these like maybe you could be, I just want you to know that I package it as simply and straightforward as possible. That's probably the biggest differentiator on top of supplying these videos from what I do different than others out there that are doing Matterport. So let's take a look at it. It's basically a mini landing page or a mini website that will come to you in your inbox. And that's going to have the 4 categories listed on the right, placed right here that allow you to click on, and it takes you to another point within that website where you'll find the tour links and the embed code to place it on your website. The 3 different videos, including that music video we just played, HD photos that are pulled from the tour. They're anywhere from 5 to 10 photos, and then marketing strategies, basically documents on how you might be able to really utilize all of this to saturate your social media and make sure that you're getting this house and your name out there. Let's see. So let's click on this website. This will take us to that website we were just looking, which is also the home of that video we just watched. So first, when you click on the Matterport tour, it's only going to take you, a few lines down. This is where you would find everything all the links for the tour, which is obviously the bulk of you know, what you're getting with this. So the branded tour will take you right to the website, because again, the Matterport lives live on the internet. So it's going to take you right to that. I think this is the branded website. And again, to share it multiple ways. You could just go up here and highlight the link and store it as one of your bookmarks. But essentially that's what you're going to be sending to people, or posting on the MLS to get this out there. You can also, like Facebook takes links, right? Just like a website if you're posting, and it doesn't just list it as a link, it lists it as kind of how it would appear on, you've probably seen it on, you know, your feed or other agents' feeds. Another way to share it would be right here. So copy makes it very easy to copy and paste, or direct it right to your Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and others. The one on the right there was an email. All right, so that brought it up in a new page, but you can go right back to where we were. Again, the unbranded tour is gonna be the same thing, just unbranded, and that's gonna be the one that you wanna post in the MLS. And embed code will take you to a Dropbox that I'll create for you. So you'll not just be getting this live landing page, but things will be stored on the back end as well in your private Dropbox that you'll have access to. So in this case, if you would like to post the tour on your website or a newsletter, you just copy and paste that entire thing right there, everything under embed code. And then, let's see. So, but originally or initially when I send this to you, you'll probably just want to review it. And this is a live, I embedded it onto this website. So you can go ahead and run through just as you normally would and make sure everything looks up to your satisfaction. And it plays just like it normally will for everybody out there. These are the videos. So if you click up here, tour videos, just takes you right below. Playing right from this screen as possible. But if you'd like to download it, that's possible as well. And here you see, just download it, save it to your computer, or you know, if you went right to that Vimeo site, you could share the Vimeo website, which will just then, when they're done, there will be a myriad of other ones available as well. So I'd suggest, if you just want to keep it very simple, downloading it to your computer and sending it that way. And then the short, well, here's a GIF. So however you'd like to use that, it's obviously super short, but if you want to download it, there it is. And then just a quick, you know, here's a 10-second silent video. If there's anywhere you feel like you could utilize that, clicking on the download button will take you to the Dropbox again. And here we have the download button, which will save it to your computer. All right, so photos, same idea with Dropbox. This just gives you, you know, a few, the dollhouse photo, if people really want to see what it looks like from a, you know, a different perspective, I suppose. You have that at your availability. And then the kind of the cover shot that I supply as well, which, you know, feel free to use that on your Facebook. If you're posting a few other photos plus the tour, you know, that might be something that could gain people's attention as well. So however you want to get creative, I'm sure by using these over time, you kind of find a system that works and grow that. But something that, you know, you could certainly collaborate with among each other as a brokerage. Kind of best practices would be a way to go. And then 360 photos, like I mentioned, will take you here. And this is this is the garage for that same home. Nothing too fancy looking on here, but when you post that on Facebook, it's much more interactive, and it kind of gives the user, the viewer, the scope of how, you know, how great something can be. And All right, so let's see. All right, and then down here, I included some different documents that would take you to social media strategy, email marketing, just different ideas on how to best utilize all these things and really get it out there as much as possible. So this is really how your individual website will look every time you do this. So that would take about 1 to 2 days to get back to you. And if you need it sooner, just let me know. All right. So let's see. Almost wrapped up here, folks. I appreciate your patience. The future, where we're going, you know, I'm trying to find a way to get everybody a website. It would be pay per month that allows you to schedule with buyers, or buyers really to, you know, if they see this landing page, schedule a time to do a virtual walkthrough with you, so that they're not just taking themselves through it, but that you're both via Zoom able to walk through, and you're able to explain certain things and sell it like you normally would. Other than that, you know, VR glasses, the office is outfitted with rooms and booths like we were talking about. I think the future will be increased third-party adoption. Home search sites will begin to really use these more than they ever have before. And then there's also virtual staging, which is already available. And if that's something you're interested in, I don't personally do it, but there are some companies out there that would be able to stage a vacant home on the Matterport. All right, so here's my contact information. I'm sure you'll be able to get it from Brandon or Isaac, but if you just want to jot down the website, there's more examples of Matterports there, of the videos I make. If you want to be updated with new tours that are in the local area, just sign on to my Instagram, and I'm offering 20% off of everybody's first tour. So I hope you take advantage of that. I'm here as a resource, so whatever kinds of questions you have now, feel free to throw out there.